The Digimon card game is my favorite TCG. Whether it's running a deck of your favorite character, playing the best deck in the room to try and win, or just simply throwing some bulk together to have fun, there is something here for everybody. I myself somewhat competitively play, and after I qualified for nationals at a store regional, I figured I'd take the rest of the year to do a little challenge. I'll be starting out with 2 copies of the Fabled Waltz structure deck, and each week give myself $25 to spend on sealed product to hopefully make my deck better. No purchasing singles, no trading cards with friends, just me and hopefully some good cards that I need. Let's see just how far this deck can take me. Welcome to Sealed Only Digimon. Hey everybody, how's it going? Future Raven here, just with a little bit of a quick announcement. Unfortunately, the audio for this video is going to be a little bit weird for the pack opening and for the deck update sections. I realized after I had finished recording that I had muted my microphone for another project I was working on, and I was just recording my screen for, so I don't have any of my microphone audio, so I'm just using what's on my phone. Thankfully, that layer of redundancy has come up here and shows why we edit the layers of redundancy as we do, but the audio is not going to be as good as normal. It's still, I just finished editing all of it. It's surprising how good it still sounds, but it's not this audio, and this isn't great, but you'll see what I mean. Thank you guys so much for understanding, and I'll see you all in just a minute. Hey everybody, hello. Welcome back to episode, God, my numbers are so weird because I'm recording everything kind of in sequence because of holidays around this time of year. Welcome back to episode number 4. Last week I had done a pretty good job of taking my first sealed event, and of course, you know, it's not showing off what my puppet deck was able to do, but I am still able to say that I did win one weekly local with my thing. Just don't ask the question about what the format was. However, with that, I did get 6 more packs of EX9. In addition to that, I am also going to be opening my participation pack from 2 weeks ago. They had given us the new one a little bit earlier, so I am able to maybe pull an Apollomon. I don't think there's much else in here that I would really like to have, but you know, any card is a good card to have in your pool. And I also did pull this other Agumon. We'll go ahead and open this guy up real quick. This is the same Agumon that is from EX9. It's the same one that you got for entry. This one just has a cool little foiling pattern on it. Ooh, wow. I don't expect myself to play any sort of DM soup thing. I don't think it's particularly good, but also I don't think that my current deck is particularly good, so it depends on what puppet support that we pull. Let's go ahead and bump my phone, open this on up, and here's Dimetromon. This is just the same thing that we have for the Galemon and the Shushumon that we have in the starter decks. It's the same thing, but this one also has Progress, which is fantastic. Progress is a great keyword. A little bit weird on a level 4, but, you know, what can you do? Pretty good card to have. I don't think I'm going to be able to pivot to red anytime soon, or for that matter, much anything else. If I am going to pivot to anything else, I would rather just be able to play the Shubon I currently have. There's no point in slotting this in, but again, another card. With that being said, let's go ahead and open up our first pack for the week. Like I said last week, oh god, that pack was a little bit gross to open. Like I had said last week, I'll have a larger deck update here, just because I didn't want to like update it and then update it again whenever I pull the new cards, because my ratios might change since I'm doing this all in one big recording session. So with that being said, we have Digimon. This card is really strong. I think this card is really good if you're on a purple base of anything, such as Digivolts for 2. It helps you, it basically is a draw 1, trash 1 when Evo and when attacking. But placing it face down has other ramifications, I guess. I don't know. It's slightly worse in some matchups, but can be generically good depending on what you need. Pagumon. I'm going to move these packs out of the way just a little bit, because I like to put my cards right in front of me. A Dark Tyrannomon. Ogremon. We're really hoping for we're not hoping for the 4, we're hoping just for the 3, the Handymon, in the non-rare and above slots. If I can get another copy or 2 of Handymon, I'd be really happy. Obviously, I'd really like the level 6. The Kaguyamon's fantastic. I would also like the level 5. The level 5 is really strong. But if I don't get it, and I'm able to pull some of the level 5s in BT22, that would also be great. We'll just have to see. Another Pomomon. Eismon. I pulled a yellow border, or a foil border of the Tokomon. This is really pretty, actually. Hang on, I'm going to take it. Oh, wow. That's really pretty. Very big fan of that. I don't know if I was to play anything. I'd really like the version 3 cards, so I would maybe end up playing this. Evolving for 1 less is always great, but we'll put him to the side. Here's a Protein. Here is a Kuwagamon. A Biomon. Our first rare is the Karakurumon, which is exactly what I wanted. When Evo, delete another token or puppet trait Digimon, and this way Digivolve into a puppet for free. That's on play and on Evo, so if I'm low past, I can just go hard slam this, play Evo into something, and then go crazy. And then it has the same inherited that our Chaperonemon currently does. This is fantastic. So happy to see this. I can finally start cutting some of the Pixie mods now. I don't need the removal if I'm able to recur a body really easily. And holy moly, an Alt-Art Andromon. So this Andromon is really strong for the version deck. For DM, I think it's pretty powerful. For each, you can give something a big nuke. I just don't know if we're going to be able to play any of the version decks. I would like to be able to maybe play Chimeramon, but that would require me pulling, 3 more Chimeramons. But overall, very, very happy with that pull. Obviously, the biggest thing I'm happiest about is the Karakurumon. That is going to go right up here with this, so we can go over it later. Already such a better pull from the first pull of the series. That first pull was just so bad compared to what we're looking at now. We have Parasurumon. I'm not going to be playing Wind Guardians on the channel. Unfortunately for my Wind Guardians fans, my VPET fans, trust me, I love me a VPET, but I just don't have time for it. I also just realized that the last hour of footage I've recorded has my closet in the background. You can see that. I'm sorry. Koromon. Another Eismon scatter mode. If we pull a bunch of Abatomons, we could technically pivot to this because it's all contained pretty much within the set. I don't see that happening. Gizamon. Another Pogumon. Soundbirdmon. Pomumon. Garurumon, Raremon, Angemon, Hydramon for my Wind Guardian heads, and another Megadramon. Wow, they're just giving us a bunch of good stuff. This card's crazy. I mean, in sealed, it just felt fantastic. But again, I don't know how well I'm going to be able to play it, but if I'm able to pull a DM deck together, it'd be really sick. I don't know how good it would be, and I have something else hiding back there now, too. Dark Tyrannomon. Like, all the low-edge DM stuff feels really strong for just, like, an aggressive deck. You can just kind of essentially champ rush it, and then if you're able to end on a Chimeramon or another level 5, it feels great. But I don't think I have the proper amount of tools for that. But we'll have to see. Unimon is great. Koromon. Another Hanimon's fantastic. That's number 2 overall. I'd like to get one more. Ogremon into Retoropiamon. Angemon. File Island. I did not pull a single copy of this in pre-release. Everybody was on this card, and I get it. I really like the field spell decks. I'm maybe in a minority. I think it's such a cool design space that they're giving effects, like lingering effects, kind of like enchantments, but you are able to out it if you're aggressive enough. So I think it's really, really cool. Gabumon, another Mirai Kinosaki, and an Agumon. I did not see anything in the back. Another Mirai. That makes 2 Mirais. That is great. I mean, that is fantastic. If we were able to pull a single Kaguyamon in this, and I've already opened an Alt-Art, a color border, 2 rares that I want, and a common that I want, so it's like asking a lot, but if I'm able to pull a single level 6, like this deck is getting a massive overhaul for the next week. We have another Scatter Mode, Palmon, Sunamon, Parasaurmon, Elecamon, Tanamon, Kokishimon. I know this is a puppet card. I already pulled a playset in my pre-release card, so I'm just going to go ahead and put it into this stack instead of with my good card stack. Sukamon, Biomon, Monochromon, Sealed Format All-Star, Ty and Matt. I'm not going to be playing in anything. I'm not going to be able to pull enough of the cards that I need for this. And a Blitz Greymon Ace, speaking of not being able to pull the cards for it. I don't think I'm ever going to be on a deck that is on red or black that would be able to play this well. Inherited Sec +1, if I am on a deck that wants just a generic 6 red or black Ace, that could be cool, just having Sec +1 inherited, but I don't think it's going to come up. Full transparency, do not expect, even for a second, to get Kaguyamon. I'm just saying, it'd be pretty cool. It'd be pretty cool if I did. I have something back there. Oh my goodness. We're just going to pretend we didn't see that. Got an Eismon, a Kunamon, a Pomumon, a Tuskmon, a Gizamon, Tokomon, Soundbirdmon, Negamon, Patamon, Nanimon, The Skullgray is what I thought I had gotten something good. It wasn't. I was thinking about the new Yugo SP alt art that has like the white background thing. It's like I got mixed up. But this is also really good if I decide to pivot to anything with DM traits. Being able to recur a piece is fantastic. And Mamemon. Mamemon's also good. So yeah, I was baited by the Skullgreymon, but this card is actually really good. I just don't have enough top end yet. If I was able to pull even just one more Chimeramon, I'd consider it after I pull a couple more things, but it's going to be a bit before we do. Last pack for the week. Pagumon, Tanemon, Palmon, Kokashimon, or I really would have liked one of those to be in just one more Hanimon, but that's okay. Devidramon, Sunomon, Ogremon, Betamon, Devimon, Numemon, X-Tyrannomon, bursting out of the Digivice, and the last card, another Karakurumon. Okay, oh my goodness. I didn't open a Kaguyumon, which all this stuff really wants you to be able to pull. But, I mean, look at this, guys. 2 Kaguyumons, a second Hanimon, and a Mirai, in addition to the ones from last week, which is a Hanimon, a play set of the Kokashimons, and a Mirai. Like, that is such a good start. Oh my goodness. And like, you know, I got a couple of decent little cards up here as well. You know, I knew I wasn't going to get that Kaguyamon whenever I opened this alt art directly into this one, but a boy can dream. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and cut over whenever I figure out what the frick changes I'm making, because I got a lot to think about now. I'm putting my whole deck in front of me and figuring out what I'm doing, so I'll see you guys in a bit. And welcome back. You can kind of see I have some cards in front of me. What you don't see, oh, you can kind of see it up here, is that I have my entire deck list put next to me to kind of figure out what's going on, and this is the stack of cards I'm choosing to remove for the cards you see in front of you. A lot of these should look familiar from a second ago, but one of these is kind of not like the other, actually. I have a Digimon in here, a card I have been very, very negative about, but will have his use case now, which is unfortunate for me. But with that being said, we're going to start with my 3s. I'm going to cut 2 level 3s. I'm going to cut 1 Junkmon and 1 Pawn Chessmon. I would rather just have the on-play effect of this to be able to recur any of my puppet pieces in case I'm missing out on a Syndromon or an in-between piece. Being able to get back anything is good, and then also it's inherited is fantastic. To stop an attack before you even get to blockers is fantastic. So I'm going to cut those for my 3s. For my 4s, I'm going to cut my 2 Starmon I was so excited to have just a couple weeks ago, 2 Tobukatmon, and 1 Shushumon. I think that I want to have puppets that I can play for really cheap off of Mirai, because the combo would be to promote a level 4, Evo into Karakurumon for free or for 3 or however much you're going to end up doing it, trigger the Mirai effect before the Wind Digivolving effect to play something out from your hand for a cost reduction of 3. And so in case my 4s are the only things I'm sitting on, I want to maximize my number of puppet trait cards in my hand. And so I want to be able to play them out for free or for much cheaper. So that's why I'm cutting the Starmons, because I have removal. I still have some removal on the top, but it's not going to be as good until I get into the Kaguyamon stuff, but that's kind of where we are. The Tobukatmons and the Shushumon, all that's the same. I almost kind of want to swap these 2 around and run 3 Tobukat and 2 of this, but I really like the security effect on this, and I just want to gamble on having it. So those are the 5s that I am cutting, or for the 4s that I am cutting. For these 4 plus this 1. Dogimon, you son of a gun. Having an on-play and an on-deletion in this deck is really, really good for Steel formats, because I have no idea what my opponents are going to do, and if I'm able to stop them for a turn, that might be just enough. Might just be enough, who knows. For my 5s, I'm just cutting out the 2 Pixibon for the 2 Karakurumons. Again, you know, the one attacking minus 4k is really, really strong, but I would rather have the free evolution into one of my level 6s. Especially with an on-play, if I just promote up a level 3 and I don't have enough memory to go into a 4 and then Evo on top of it again, just slam down to 7, or slam down the 5, 4, 7, and then be able to go to the races. That feels pretty great. And then for the last cards, for the 2 Mirais, I am going to be cutting 1 Noble Family Arts and 1 EX Tyrannomon. Noble Family Arts is really good to stall me for a turn, but if I'm on the Dogimon package, I might be able to use it the same effect. And then EX Terramon, I really like being on 7 ults or 7 level 5s in most decks. So being able to cut 1 EX Terramon and go back down to that number feels great. So yeah, that'll be my deck. Next time you guys will see me, we'll be in the future in some undetermined amount of time whenever Future even decides to edit. So you guys will see me there. Goodbye. See you later. Take it easy. Have a good one. Enjoy watching the games. Hopefully I didn't suck. Bye. All right, so we just finished up a couple days ago with our tournament result with our updated puppets, and I'm impressed by it, but I know what we need and it's not going to come easy. So let's go ahead and hop into the games and kind of show what we were up to this week. All right, so our first game here is up against Eosmon, and I had mentioned that I'm working on a project to this player. He's been out for about a month. His car kind of broke down, so he's been unable to attend, but I kind of let him know what I was up to, and he's like, oh, I'll play something fun. So he's playing Eosmon for this week, and unfortunately he's not seeing any sort of Morphomons on the top. I'm taking this opportunity to kind of go wide. I promoted early, and then I went ahead and went the exact perfect combo that I wanted. I went into my new 4. I was able to trash something to delete a Digimon. I'm able to have another 3 out, so whenever I go into the 5, I'm able to go into my Sendramon for free. Get my 2 tokens out, and I'm feeling great. My opponent attacks. I'm able to end the attack by deleting a token, delete something else, and I'm really just doing the thing that my deck wants to be doing. That turn, I go ahead and play a Shumon, get my search, I attack with my Sendramon, draw the card, and then I'm able to overclock at end of turn. So I'm able to get 2 attacks with it, even while also getting a search, while I'm still building in the back. My opponent's still not been able to grab a Morphomon. There he goes, revealing 3 just now, and it's not great. I choose to block there because I do have Reboot and Blocker, which is really strong, and just kind of preventing my opponent from hitting into my security just in case. I have a hard time remembering exactly what Eosmon does a lot of the time, but I just don't want him to be able to do anything. And so my opponent digivolves into the level 6 Eosmon, plays out another level 5, and draws a couple of cards for evolving, but that's really about it. There's not much else he can do. I'm able to just promote and swing out for game. Game 2, he starts with a Morphomon right at the start, and a second Morphomon on play. He reveals 3 cards. He grabs a Manoa and an Eosmon, which he revealed 0. He saw 2 Morphos, which is unfortunate. But I'm able to go ahead. He gives me enough memory. I'm able to hard drop my Searcher, Shumon, and then I'm able to go into the level 4. I keep wanting to call it Karakurumon. It's not that. But I'm able to go to my 4. I'm able to delete the Digimon that's on board by discarding a card, and he promotes, he swings, he lives, hitting a second Shoto out of my security after I played one on last turn, and he just starts committing his own tamers. Maybe I should have kept that tamer in my hand because I could have played it for free later, but I didn't really have anything else going on. I would have rather have just done what I did. I go ahead and make an attack. I hit an Eosmon. I'm debating on what I want to discard here, if anything, but I actually remember that my security, I have my inherited effect, is my security is a little bit bigger, so I'm able to I'm able to beat over the 6k with my effective 7k. I'm able to just go wide. My opponent only has 2 security left. I'm just trying to go as wide as possible, present as many attacks as I can because I don't think that Eosmon has great removal. My opponent goes into a 5. I am unable to play a tamer. He plays out a tamer, but at this point I'm able to just promote, swing, and go for a game. I end up taking the first set of the day pretty well. Let's go ahead and roll into round 2 and see if we can keep this rolling. All right, it's round 2. We're up against Hunters. Let's go ahead and start this video now. Realistically, Hunters is going to be a little bit of a weird matchup. If we go wide and play Tamers, that's exactly what Hunters wants us to do, but that's really all our deck can do. We go ahead and start with a physical training, promote into our Shumon. We go ahead and we're trying to set our opponent down to 1 memory as much as we can. My opponent turn 1 is able to play out their Tagiru, their new one, and then on turn 2, in their security, I hit a Tagiru. So they just are able to just commit something, and then on their turn 2, they're able to commit to a level 5 superior mode and just wipe my board. I'm able to give it -4 here by discarding something. I'm able to spin the Mirai, give it -6 to give it the full -10 to delete it, but that's not really enough, unfortunately. I end on a 3. My opponent is able to scramble back out the level 3 that he needs and recur the rush piece and do the exact same play as last turn, but this time he's able to out my bodies when attacking to pop a 4k or less. And at this point, my opponent sets me to 1. They're able to end of turn attack. That's 4 checks over by the end of turn 3, and I'm just not really feeling much. I'm able to give it -12 by promoting, but again, they're getting an extra free 2 memory. It's just like Cross. It's going to get so much value they are able to attack without suspending it at the game. Round 2 here, I open up, I mulligan, and I don't hit a rookie in my opener hand after my mulligan. So I go ahead and play a physical training. I'm able to hit one, thankfully. I grab it. I Digivolve in the back on my next turn, play out another Searcher. I get Mirai and Security. I'm able to start chipping at their security. I use Karakurumon to Digivolve, and then I go ahead and delete one of my tokens to overclock, give the Psychomon my opponent played minus 3,000, and I'm able to do another check. My opponent has a second Watchmaker rotation, but without any of the free evolution stuff, it's just looking not fantastic for him. I go ahead and Wonder Stomp out a Junkmon. I attack with Sendromon. I attack with my token. My token dies. I give minus 3,000. I Digivolve into the level 4. I'm able to give minus 4. I'm able to do the last check, and that's just a game. I'm already talking over game 3. Game 3 is a little bit easier. Game 3 is looking pretty solid here. I'm able to start going into my level 4, but my opponent has a Tigiru. I mean, that's just such an uphill battle for me to climb. I'm debating here what the best thing to do is, and I decided it's playing out a Mirai. My opponent goes up to 2 memory. They go ahead and use 1 memory to go into the 5. They attack without suspending. They attack for the security, so that's 2, and then they play out a Taiki from their hand for 3. I'm looking like a pretty rough spot here. My deletion isn't fantastic. I am able to do the thing I was talking about earlier. I was able to play out the Digimon for a cost of 1 off of the Mirai. While going to Karakuru, I was able to give this superior mode security attack minus 2 effectively. I do have 1 blocker because I played the Shoto. I chose not to overclock because I wanted to keep both of them around just to make sure that I could delete something. But I do have the 1 blocker. It's the one that's raised above. And I think that my opponent promotes and they just have enough. I hit a Tagiru insecurity, which is a kind of a bummer. But all that I really can do now is just wait for the inevitable to happen. They're able to go back up to the BT11, BT12, Arrestor Superior Mode. I Digivolve on the back. I'm looking for any sort of out. I go Wonder Stomp to play out Hanimon to maybe grab back the Karakurumon, but I grab the 4 instead, and I just don't have a 5. Unfortunately, my opponent takes the set 2-1, but honestly, I'm impressed that I was able to take a game. They may have not hit any of their Hunter Tamers, but that's still pretty good for me. Let's go ahead and see what happens in round 3. All right, round 3, we're going to be up against Dragon Lynx, and this is going to be a really hard matchup. Dragon Lynx has the Floodgate effect for the fact that I cannot play by effect, which is what my deck wants to do. I can't play anything with 6,000 or less for that matter, and I want to swarm with rookies because my rookies give me my value, so we'll see how that ends up working out for me. I'll give you a bit of a spoiler. It doesn't go particularly well. My opponent goes into one of the new rookies that lets you pitch a card to draw a card at start of main, and it also goes into a Jazamon to search. I'm able to commit up to my new level 4, my Kokeshis. I remember their name now. Go into my Kokeshi, delete the body that was out, and then I'm able to just kind of do some other stuff to pass the turn. I'm just kind of doing what I can. Yellow memory boost to grab a Sendril. My opponent I hit a Hina out of security. My opponent hard drops a 5 and then uses the Hina effect to Digivolve it into a 6. That Volcanic Dramon that you see says that I cannot play any Digimon with 6,000 or less DP. So I'm just setting up with my options and stuff in the back as best as I can, hoping my opponent doesn't do it again. And my opponent hits not 1 but 2 Chikurimons, which makes it a lot harder. I'm able to go into Kokeshi to delete 1. I'm able to go into Chaperone to delete a second one. I'm able to attack into the security. I'm able to give minus 3 to the third body, so I am effectively alive. My opponent, when attacking, deletes my lowest level, which is the Kokeshi, or not the Kokeshi, the Junkmon, and then I use the effect to go ahead and end the attack out of my inheritables off my Central. However, my opponent does it again. My opponent slams a level 5, de-digivolves me by 1, and then evolves into a Volcanic Dramon again. So I still, yet again, can't play anything. Even if I go into a Centralmon, I can't play the token, so there's no point in doing that. So this is a very, very strong floodgate effect for my opponent to have placed upon me. I go ahead and use 2 Noble Family Arts. Unfortunately, Volcanic Dramons are at 13k, so I'm unable to successfully out one of them, out each of them with 1 option. So I opt for the thing to just delete one of them and do as best as I can. I delete the one that's suspended. I don't think it really matters which one I deleted because my opponent just attacks me out, and then I don't have any way to get through and stop my opponent from winning on my next turn. So I go ahead and just say, go next. My opponent, turn 1, has dropped the Hina because I set my own tamer, my own setter. And then they go ahead and do the exact same play. They give me 10 memory, but that gets them a level 6 on board. They prevent me from playing anything out, and I give them back 5 memory because it's such a weird state to be in. My opponent hits a memory boost or a training of one of the 2, but there's not much I can do at this point. They go into a Ragnolordmon. They trash my security and unsuspend, and now I am just staring down the barrel. I have to do something here, but my removal is not particularly good against these sorts of stacks. I'm not able to out them as well as I'd like. I go into Central, I play Kokeshi, I Digivolve into Chaparro to give -6 to the other body, leaving the Ragnalordmon. Our camera gets hit, so the footage is a little bit off, and I apologize about that. But my opponent goes ahead and attacks. I choose to end the attack and give it -3 for the turn, hoping that'll do something, but my opponent goes ahead and plays out a Searcher, searches the thing that they need, and they declare and suspend 2 of my bodies for a Medieval Gallantmon. They pop the... they attempt to pop Central. I use the effect to save it by popping the Chaparro. My opponent Alliance vortexes into my Centralmon. I declare Barrier because I think that the Centralmon is what I need to survive here. In hindsight, for that attack, I went ahead and walked over the other body. I should have just walked into the Medieval Gallantmon here. But I also forget that the Ragnalordmon just has a redirection, so there's not much I can do here at all. I play out the Shumon, hoping to do something. If my opponent takes the bait, I'm able to delete the other thing and maybe survive. I am able to out the Ragnalord here by a series of Chaparro plays, playing a Shumon, evolving up the stack, and then playing out a second one just for a hard cost of 7 because it is reduced by the overflow fact. In hindsight, maybe I should have outed the Medieval Gallantmon. It's really hard to say. Medieval Gallantmon prevents me from playing anything very effectively, but Ragnalord does just say that I have a very hard time in doing much of anything at all. Ragnalord does, with the redirection, I just can't do much. My opponent goes ahead and hard drops the another Jazzamon to give me to Digivolve Y1, and then the new one on play effect that he's getting from the Hina allows him to Digivolve 1 all of my Digimon and then delete lowest level, I believe. So all I'm left is with a single Chaparomon. I am searching for a piece. I'm searching for anything. I play out the Handymon. Handymon's on play allows me to grab back a Centralmon. My opponent at this time goes ahead and deletes my Chaparomon, and that's curtains. Their Medieval Gallantmon with a redirect prevention is just too much. We end our day at 1 and 2. We walk away only having won 1 set, and that was against the ES player at the beginning of the day. Overall, I feel like this deck on the bottom end is feeling fantastic. I think that it is queuing and gearing up to do really well once I get those top end pieces. But without those top-end pieces, I'm kind of just struggling to win against anything that sits out a body that is big. My best form of removal against anything that's larger than about a level 4, maybe a 5 if I have the right combo of cards in hand, is Noble Family Arts. And that just doesn't... It stops for a turn, but decks are designed so well now to be able to do their plays consistently enough that I'm just unable to... form any sort of advantage off of deleting it. A Karakuru is fantastic, but if it's only going into Structured X Centralmon, it doesn't do enough for me, I think. So we're kind of really hoping for our next packs to be able to pull a Kaguyamon. We'll be going back into EX9 next week. The week after that, however, is going to be pre-release for BT22 already. So I'm going to be thinking a little bit over the next couple of weeks if I'm going to dip into BT22 and try to pull that Nien Bootmon and maybe some of the new puppet stuff that's at lower rarity, or do I keep going to kind of try to pull a Kaguya? You guys let me know in the comments what you think. I'm very interested to hear what you think. But with that, thank you guys so much for watching this video. Go ahead and leave a like if you like the video. Subscribe if you want to. Tell me what you think about the series so far. I love reading all of your guys' comments. I read every single one because I'm able to do that. And I will see you guys next week. Go out and make somebody's day. See you later.